Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Hello.
Hi, my name is Mike Snow, and episode 10 was great. I liked it a lot better, honestly, than episode 9 because, well, frankly, some more interesting stuff was happening in this one. We get tons of stuff with Richard Horne, who I think we've pretty much confirmed is Audrey's son. I mean, I guess it could be Johnny Horne's son, but I don't think so. I think it's pretty clear that Audrey Horne was attacked by Evil Cooper when she was in her coma and produced this strange, monstrous person. Whether Richard Horne is a human and has the standard variables between good and evil, because of course there are real humans that are as evil as he is in the real world, or whether he's some sort of strange spirit creature that is infested with evil, or maybe he's constantly being preyed upon by the evil forces in town or something. We don't really know. Or maybe he's just more susceptible to it, like Cooper and Major Briggs and Laura were, and Sarah Palmer were all sort of like in tune or in touch with the weird stuff going on. Maybe he kind of is, but in a negative way. Richard Horne is just plain horrendously evil, as if we didn't already know that already. He actually got worse. I don't know how that was even possible, but he became more hateful and more evil and more unpleasant. He actually murders the woman getting pie in Norma's diner, and I was certain when I saw her that she was so friendly and nice and kind and gentle and wonderful. I knew instantly that she was going to be brutally killed. I knew that before we even saw her look at Richard. We knew that. And somehow, for some reason, she wrote a letter to the police, but didn't actually go down to the police station. Like, what? And she knew that Richard saw her, and she knew who Richard was, and that he was frickin' crazy and probably evil. So, she knows Richard. She addresses him by name. She knows who this guy is, and presumably knows his reputation of being a badass and being just evil. So, honestly, I kind of lost some sympathy for her. Even though I love her and she was adorable, I kind of lost some sympathy for her when she didn't go to the police and tell them herself, instead of writing a letter like, a couple of days later. That was insane. But that woman, unfortunately, is horribly murdered, or we assume she is. I can't imagine her living through that, honestly. I mean, maybe she is, and she's going to be hospitalized the next episode. We get lucky, who knows? But probably not, especially because the gas was left on in her little trailer home there. I assume it's going to blow up or something like that. I thought Richard was going to toss like some sort of Molotov cocktail in there and kill her, but we get another scene with Richard Horne soon afterwards, and it is one of the best scenes of the entire new series. I would say it ranks among the best scenes of the whole series, including the original two seasons. And it's when he finds Sylvia Horne, who we were very briefly introduced to as living with the adult Johnny. Well, I guess Johnny was an adult in the original, wasn't it? With Johnny Horne, the mentally challenged Horne child. And apparently her and Ben have separated or something like that. They're not really living together. And Richard breaks into her home and brutally assaults her. Just calls her a cunt, yells at her, screams at her. He's just absolutely, chokes his own grandmother over and over again while robbing her. Just while Johnny Horne is strapped to a table where there's this ridiculous, like half cute and half creepy, like stuffed animal that's meant to calm and soothe Johnny's nerves and sort of calm him down and relax him while everything's going on. And it's just this perfect Lynchian blend of creepiness and humor and absurdity and extreme ultra-violent darkness. It's absolutely great. And Richard Horne just comes off as being absolutely hideously awful in this sequence. So I would be more interested to know what's going on. It appears that the evil forces of the town are kind of setting him up for a fall. They're kind of setting him up to be obliterated in some horrible way, and they can feed off of it. So they're definitely like pushers, sort of guiding him into that direction somehow. It's just so hard to watch Sylvia Horne being like, I assume her last name is still Horne. I don't know if they're divorced or not. Is just brutally choked and screamed at and verbally abused, and just it's horrible. And afterwards, she calls Ben, and Ben says, "How's Johnny?" And he says, "Oh, you don't care about me?" And Ben immediately says, "Of course I care about you, Sylvia. How much money did he take?" Immediately like that. It's like that's just a perfect little Benjamin Horne thing to do, like with Audrey, where he wanted to know how safe she was, but he counted all the money that Agent Cooper brought back, thankfully. That was a fun little moment. That really reminds me of how Ben is. I mean, I don't. We really don't know if Ben has changed or not. He kind of seems he's. I mean, he's definitely better than he was 25 years ago, but now he's looking to sleep with Ashley Judd's character. So he kind of pushed her away, but now he wants to take her to dinner, and he's going for that. And I didn't think he would have changed that much. I mean, I want to know what's going to happen with this horrifying sequence with them, with Ashley Judd and her cancer-stricken husband, and how he's going to take all of this. I don't know what's going to happen, but that looks fascinating. We also get quite a bit more with the FBI subplot, where they're researching what's going on with Major Briggs and Evil Cooper, and they find out that Evil Cooper escaped. And I assume that Gordon Cole is got to figure it out when the warden is murdered. Presumably, he's going to get killed in the following episode, and he's going to figure out what's that the warden let him go and had something on, and Coop had something on him. Gordon and the others also find out that Diane is texting with the enemy. Now, some people are really still sticking up for Diane. I'm not. I know nothing about this character. She was just sort of she wasn't even a voice. She was just a person referenced by another character. And she could easily have turned completely evil in the past 25 years. And I think that would be a great thing to do, to take this sort of beloved character and make them totally evil. Now, it's possible, as some have pointed out, that she's part of the group, like Ray was, that are trying to sort of search for and stop Agent Cooper on their own outside of FBI channels. That's possible, but frankly, I don't buy it. I don't think that's happening. I think she's just evil. I bet she's just turned to the dark side. Or maybe she was always evil. I mean, we don't know. That'd be a great way to take this character that fans have been wanting to see for years and years, and turn them completely evil like that, and really catch them off guard, I think, with that. We also get a sequence with Gordon where he sees Laura Palmer. Like, they literally just splice in footage from Firewalk with Me as if he's seeing it like a hallucination. And I kind of like that. I think it looked kind of neat, that weird little effect when he opened the door. It looked kind of primitive, like it would have been on a 90s television show, to be honest. It kind of reminded me of that. And I'm going to have to go back and watch this again, but apparently Gordon said he noticed something in the hug that Diane gave him. And I went back and watched a little bit, like just a picture I had of it, and it's kind of a weird hug. I think that some fans were saying that was kind of like a sweet moment and a nice moment where they were hugging one another. But looking at it again, Gordon really looks kind of unsettled and unhappy about the whole thing. He's kind of he thinks it's kind of weird and peculiar, and so do I. It kind of looks like that to me, to be honest. There's something a bit off with Diane in that sequence. It's just not quite. Something about it. She's not quite there, I think. There is still no Agent Cooper. I'm beginning to think that we're never going to get Agent Cooper back until like the last 15 minutes of the final episode or something, but who knows. There's actually a sex scene between him and Naomi Watts, which is a little bit peculiar. I'm sorry to bring this sort of like realistic topic up in here, but it actually does happen occasionally that spouses with dementia or Alzheimer's are sexually abused by family members. And I was just kind of creeped out by this, that Cooper like can't understand what's going on. He's practically brain dead at times. It's not always, but a lot of the time there's something wrong with him. And then Janie has sex with him, which is kind of peculiar. It is kind of funny, though, where he's kind of like flopping up and down on the bed. It's not quite the stripper meets flipper sex scene from Showgirls, but it's still up there. It's kind of bizarre. But we still don't have any more from them. No more clues about what's going on with Cooper. I really wish he was back. I wish we had Agent Cooper here. Unless there was like some sort of fourth season where we get him back full time. It's just kind of getting a bit irritating at this point. And also, how is Laura the one? Laura is the one. What does that mean? The fans have been speculating like crazy about it, and I don't have a clue, really. I assume what they're talking about is Laura Some people have said it has been created in a way to act as a force of good against Bob. Did the creatures like from the lodge, the White Lodge, sort of create her, as was implied in some ways in episode 8? So that she was like sort of a force for good that they made in order to combat Bob, which is why she, unlike virtually everyone else in the world, is unable to resist him. You know, even though she was brutalized by him for years, she was actually able to stop him. So that's actually kind of impressive if that's the case. I mean, I don't know if it is, but that would be pretty amazing. But Laura is still a big part of this story, and I really want to see where she's going with that because we saw her briefly in the early episodes as dead, but yet she lives somehow, and there's a bright shining light back there. Was she always, partially imbued with some sort of magical essence that made her special in some way? She's supposed to be smart and perfect, and she was beloved by everyone. And the town, as has been pointed out by some reviewers, is very dark in this iteration. It's darker than it was 25 years ago. I said in the last episode, I don't really get a sense of Twin Peaks being the same place as this shining beacon of goodness with an evil dark side. It's really just sort of darkness and misery and unpleasantness most of the time. And there are no symbols, there are no champions of goodness there. You know, there's no Agent Cooper, there's no Garland Briggs, there's no Laura. There's nothing to sort of hold up as an example of something great and good and pure. And without Laura there, maybe they need her there to do it. Without Laura there, they can't have that sense of goodness that they once have. And maybe Laura's death is being shown to have had a more a negative effect than we ever saw, and how it sort of drained the color and goodness and beauty from the world of Twin Peaks since then and made it into the darker, grimmer place that it tends to be today, or maybe the more realistic place that it is today, I should say. We also spend a lot more time with the Gangsters, led by Jim Belushi, and I don't know the other actor's name, I'm sorry. And it's kind of interesting to see their little world. This is very much Mulholland Drive-esque. You know, Mulholland Drive was supposed to be a TV show at one point, or the theory or the idea behind it. And this really feels like what it would be. We would get introduced to all of these weird, sort of half comic, half crazy characters all the time. And that's kind of what we're doing now. These weird, ridiculous gangsters that are just sort of scary, but also humorous and kind of ridiculous. And they have this girlfriend named Candy. Apparently they have like a Hugh Hefner-like stable of 3 women that hang around them wearing these sort of like, what are they? Not cocktail dresses. I don't even know exactly what they are. They look like Cigarette Girl from the 1930s or 40s dresses. All 3 of them are pink, all 3 are blonde. And one of them named Candy seems to be like off her medication or something. There's something wrong with her, and it's actually kind of amusing. I actually kind of liked it. I've seen some fans say they didn't really like Candy. I enjoyed her. I thought she was cute and funny and kind of ridiculous, and I enjoyed how she was just sort of like lackadaisically sort of languid and laying about and other L words. And she was, I actually thought she was kind of amusing. But again, it's not Agent Cooper. Is this the conclusion of all of this? Are all these threads going to be tied together, if they ever are? That's not a guarantee with Twin Peaks. Is that going to happen like in the series finale in episode 18? That's possible with all that stuff going on here. We also see the man from Mulholland Drive. I'm sorry, I forgot his name, the character actor. Everybody's seen him in a bunch of different places. I'll put a picture of him up here. He is apparently working to kill Dougie. He's working for Evil Cooper. And Evil Cooper is apparently the millionaire who set up the box at the beginning in order to trap or thwart or divert Agent Cooper away from it. So, we got more threads going on there. They've set up so much stuff. It seems impossible that they can conclude it all. It really feels like the last season finale for season 1. They've set up so much stuff. How could they possibly get all of this set up at the end of it? It seems almost impossible to do that. We also see Dr. Jacoby again, who, when someone pointed this out to me on an earlier video, that apparently Dr. Jacoby is wearing some sort of fascist symbols, like symbols from fascist Italy in the 20s and 30s, on his jacket or on his cap there, which is kind of creepy, which is weird because it's strange to think that he's like an extreme right-wing radio personality. I mean, that's what I think of when I think of radio personality, but still. And Nadine is once again there. I want more Nadine. I want Norma. I want Big Ed. I haven't seen him anywhere. Where is he? I want the, I'm getting to the point where I really want these characters. My patience is kind of running thin. Some parts of it, like with Richard Horne, I adore because that's great. And I even enjoyed Candy, but I still want the old characters back. I don't want them to be forever in the background with a few token lines here and there. I want them to be majorly involved in the story. Shelley and Norma don't have plots. James has not been seen in a long time. They don't have parts of the story of their own. They just have like they're sort of like background figures for the most part. Not in the sheriff's department. That's a little different, but it really annoys me that that's what's going on here. I want to find out what's happening with the characters that I love. But I guess that is going on with Ben, and to some degree Jerry. I forgot to mention this, but there's some fun comedy stuff going on with Jerry tripping balls out in the woods. Or is he high, or is he high and there's some weird stuff going on? I don't know. They seem to be focusing on him getting really stoned and having his feet talk to him, which I don't recollect as being a side effect of marijuana. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe staring at your feet for several hours and saying, whoa, but not hearing them talk. That's a little bit peculiar. This episode I really enjoyed. It ends with an amazing song by Rebecca Del Rio. And she was the woman who made the famous Spanish version of Crying by Roy Orbison that featured in Mulholland Drive, and that amazing scene, one of the best scenes that Lynch ever filmed. If you haven't seen Mulholland Drive, you really have to see that. It's an amazing film. And she performs a song here, and it's incredible, and Rebecca Del Rio is beautiful, and it's incredible. It's this long, like 6-7 minute long song, and I actually wanted to sit there and listen to the entire thing, something that I did not do for most of the other ones. I was sort of kind of like, when the credits faded out, I was kind of like fading away, and I wasn't super interested. This was an incredible song. I've already downloaded it, and I want to listen to it a bunch of times. It's amazing. It really is an incredible song to end there, called No Stars, I think. It's extraordinary, and I love that they ended with that. I want better music, not, I mean, Au revoir Simone is all right, but, I prefer this, I think, the more standard Julie Cruz-esque kind of Angelo Badalamenti type sound. And Rebecca Del Rio was amazing. I'm sorry I rambled so much in this video. The way that these episodes are designed, there's so much like, tiny little threads going on. You have to point out everything here in order to discuss what happened, because there's like 15 different stories going on all at the same time that we get little snippets of. But overall, I liked it. My annoyance is still there that we don't have Agent Cooper and they're not investigating things, and it's it looks increasingly unlikely that we'll ever see Agent Cooper, which is really annoying. But among the characters we do have, new and old, we're getting a lot of good stuff. There's creepy stuff going on with Amanda Seyfried's character being abused by her boyfriend in a much more realistic and horrifying way than she ever was with Leo. The music with Rebecca Del Rio was incredible. The sequence with Richard Horne attacking his grandmother is absolutely extraordinary. Overall, I'm really, really fond of the series up to this point. There are minor nuisances, but those annoyances go away, and I can just sit and absorb how great this Lynchian masterwork really is. So please tell me in the comments what you thought of this episode. If you hate the series and you think it's terrible, and you've always hated Lynch, or you hate the series but you love the original one and why, or if you love it like I do, or if you love it completely and don't have any of the reservations that I have, I think those reservations are ridiculous. Please tell me in the comments below. Please give me your theories about what Laura is the one and what meaning Laura is going to have with the series up to this point, because I really don't know. It's completely up in the air. Please tell me what you thought of Rebecca Del Rio's song, because I thought it was an amazing part of this series, and this was a fantastic episode. And I'm going to link some more videos of mine up on here. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see me go through more of the episodes of Twin Peaks. I'm going to be releasing those on Monday after the episodes come out, I hope, if I can do that. And thank you very much. Have a good day.